Everyone has had a bad day at work. The protagonist of Ironland's Cloudpunk, however, has probably had the most interesting rollercoaster ride in her first day as a Cloudpunk driver. Having moved to the towering city of Nivalis in a bid to hide from the Det Corps, Rainier is hired as a delivery driver for the titular company. The job is simply to pick up packages and deliver them. There's only one rule: don't open the package. In a city that's full of corruption, greed and all manner of other cyberpunk tropes, of course the deliveries are a little south of legal. Whether it's delivering mods to an illegal street racer or ferrying a person to their new home, it's all a bit shady, as are most of the people she meets. I'm really a fan of games that throw you right in, not teaching you the basics, but somehow it makes sense in Cloudpunk. Getting to grips with your HOVA, or hover, a Fifth Element style flying car, doesn't take too long as you begin weaving through traffic on every axis. You'll refuel as necessary, visit garages to have any damage fixed, and basically learn as you go, the same way she has to learn as she begins the longest night of her life. Control, your gruff supervisor, calls whenever a job becomes available. He slowly reads little details about himself and the city, always leaving just enough mystery for you to use your imagination or want to uncover the reason why he won't talk about certain things. This sums up Cloudpunk's storytelling, really, as you follow the stories of everyone you meet. Even the smallest conversations feel like they add something to the game's setting, heaping atmosphere onto the already rich cyberpunk feel of the city and its inhabitants. There are so many stories to discover, even from the tiniest side quests. The elevator that thinks it's a demon that eats people, the little girl who loves to watch street racers flying by, your android neighbour with her lost memories. They all bring the city to life piece by piece. They breathe life into Rania too, showing just how human and compassionate she is, not to mention how little time she has for idiots and creeps. Over the course of her first night on the job, her character is tested and decisions need to be made that will affect the story. She is at least helped by her AI companion, Camus. Camus is her dog, which means his thought process is quite innocent, and he often provides light relief and even insightful comments where necessary. He just wants to help his friend, but ultimately he would love to be a dog again. Once Rania can afford a new canine frame for him, their relationship throughout the game is sweet, sometimes tugging at the heartstrings as well. I was taken aback at just how much heart runs through Cloudpunk's story and characters. It caught me off guard several times, truth be told. A lot of this is down to Andrea Petril's performance as Rania. Some of Cloudpunk's voice acting is a little wonky, but the main cast of Control, Camus and Rania are universally excellent, lending some real weight to the storytelling. Obviously you need more than just storytelling though. This is where Cloudpunk may be a little more divisive, as it's never particularly action-packed. Indeed, most of the game is simply driving from one part of the city to another, often listening to dialogue along the way. It's a very sedate experience, but it lets you soak up the atmosphere of the city as you navigate the highways or peel off into the darkness between the buildings. The glow of neon fills the skyline. Buildings of all kinds reach high up into the rolling troposphere, piercing the clouds below you. That alone tells you just how high up this climbs, so when you eventually get to see what's below the clouds, you're suddenly introduced to a much more claustrophobic setting. It's not all about the driving, you see, as you do spend some time running around the streets of various neighbourhoods. This is probably the weakest part of the game, usually because the fixed camera angles sometimes struggle to keep up with your movement. It does provide some excellent opportunities to meet some of the cast of characters that live all over the city. It also allows you to find the collectibles that are dotted around Cloudpunk's open world setting, if you're into that kind of thing, of course. There are some issues, of course. No game is perfect after all, and Cloudpunk definitely isn't. On top of the iffy on-foot cameras, the AI of Nivalis' traffic is essentially non-existent, never deviating from its set path, even if you're in its way. This leads to some frustrations, as you'll often be forced to go get your hover repaired, but it's rarely a huge problem. Once you get used to the controls, you'll avoid most collisions anyway. There are also a handful of timed missions, one of which I failed because I'm convinced there wasn't enough allotted time to get to my destination. This feels a little at odds with the sedate pace of the rest of the game, but thankfully failing them simply alters the story a little instead of making you repeat them. In fact, I don't think there are any fail states whatsoever in Cloudpunk. It just keeps flowing, letting you explore the city and enjoy the story. Oh, and enjoy its soundtrack too, as its synth-heavy focus is pure Vangelis, but merges nicely with a dramatic score that feels inspired by the sounds of Hans Zimmer and Harry Gregson Williams. It's incredibly atmospheric. Cloudpunk's often sedate pace and its striking voxel visuals combine to create a truly unique game. It's almost like a walking simulator or a visual novel, only you're driving a flying car, but the storytelling and characters come to life in a similar way. It's a special game that's more affecting than I expected. More than that though, it really feels like a one-of-a-kind experience. Hi, Adam from GodIsAGeek.com here. Hope you enjoyed Gary's review of Cloudpunk. Have to say, not the best name for a game, but I really am interested to play this myself. It's coming to Switch, we believe, so maybe one to look at there. If you did enjoy this video, hit the subscribe button, the bell button, so you're notified as well of everything we're doing, and maybe throw us a like or comment if you are interested in this game, or like me, are you waiting for the Switch version? Thanks so much for your time. Follow us on the socials at GodIsAGeek, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.